Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Whovian Shelf. Today I'm continuing my Series 9 reviews with Sleep No More. Now, if you haven't seen the episode, this review will contain spoilers, so go watch it and come back to watch this review. So, Sleep No More was written by Mark Gatiss, and the Doctor and Clara board this ship and find this technology on board which pretty much encapsulates a whole month's worth of sleep into 5 minutes so people can be more productive, get more of their job done, make more money, all that stuff. And of course there are monsters involved too. There are monsters roaming the ship. That they call them the Sandmen. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what did I think about this episode? Well, you know that I've been waiting for a dip in quality this season because it's been really good so far. But this episode was a dip in quality. It really was. Not to say it was bad, but it wasn't that good compared to the episodes that came before it. Now, this was the first standalone story this season, and I'm glad we've gotten back to that. We have another standalone for the next episode. But yeah, it wasn't that good, and it was a Mark Gatiss episode. And honestly, I've never been a huge fan of Mark Gatiss when he writes Doctor Who. I've seen other things that he's written. I mean, he wrote the Adventure in Space and Time, or Time and Space, the docudrama or Doctor Who, and that was fantastic. Like, so I really enjoy other things that he's written, but when it comes to Doctor Who, I don't really enjoy his stuff as much. I personally think Cold War is probably his best episode. But let's get back to talking about the episode. Things I liked about it. I thought like the kind of found footage style that they went with was pretty well done. So, you know, I like that they try different things from time to time. So that was cool. And it didn't have the standard opening title sequence, and that was a nice touch, I thought. Yeah, that was about it. No, I mean, the problems that I have with the episode are that there's just a lot of unanswered questions with this. I mean, and this is a big spoiler. You find out at the end of the episode, like the one professor they find, it's been his whole plan to you know, send these, to have this new updated technology to get sent to all these other planets and to create more Sandman, because the monsters themselves are supposed to be these how it was explained first was that the doctor said that, you know, like when you wake up and wipe away, like, you know, the gunk from your eyes, that like evolved or something like that into the Sandman. But then they said that it just changes people into Sandman. So the episode was really confusing, and it ended leaving you kind of like, what just happened? And a lot of unanswered questions, like Clara got into the thing, and if it's supposed to just alter the brain and turn you into a Sandman, then how did the Doctor fix Clara? There was just a one-off line where the Doctor was like, we're gonna go to that one planet, we're gonna sort you out, and then disable all the machines, and that was it. And it didn't make sense that this professor, I think his name was Rasputin or something like that, but that he set up this whole plan, this whole fake plan for the Doctor. And the Doctor kept going like, this doesn't make sense, And then he had this whole other plan where he was sending this video to all these different planets, I guess, and embedded the like subliminal thing or whatever that would rewrite your brainwaves and turn you into a Sandman and everything. That didn't make sense. It's like, why would he go to all the trouble of setting this whole kind of storyline up when he just had this other plan? It makes no sense. A lot of this episode didn't make sense. So, and the one thing that I really didn't like about this episode, you have this really cool science fiction concept of getting rid of sleep, of condensing a month's worth of sleep into 5 minutes, or even a longer amount of sleep into a shorter amount of time. And they just used monsters. And the monsters sucked. They looked terrible. I don't understand it. They could have done really interesting things with that concept, but they just did a really generic, oh, it's a Doctor Who monster. So I'm not a huge fan of this episode. It was okay though, so I mean it just, a lot of it didn't make sense to me, and it really did leave you kind of confused about what actually happened. So I'm giving this one a 5 out of 10. Not the best episode, in my opinion. Alright, as always, like the video, share it, and subscribe. Till next time.